aren't a lot of cars on the roads right now, but we have a lot of families, a lot of folks out on the street enjoying this holiday.
We do, and it looks like that rear tire might be, there's a sheriff helicopter just flew through the shot. It looks like it might be a spare tire. I could be wrong, but it's definitely missing the covering for sure. It looks like the Southgate Police or some other the law enforcement entity. Now we are, let's see, I'll have a call for you in just a second as far as where we are exactly, but turning east, and yeah, those are either the Sheriff's Department vehicles or Southgate PD, but they've turned the pursuit back over to the agencies on the ground instead of the highway patrol. Kind of did a quick dash off the freeway, obviously trying to lose the officers behind him, and it looks like we're going to be westbound on, I think, Firestone. We'll double check here.
And he's been particularly seen within the specific areas of Bell, Linwood, and the city of Paramount. And again, Lita, as you mentioned, we've talked to law enforcement here in the past over and over again. And typically, these pursuit suspects usually go back to
very close there.
An area quite familiar to them.
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing him make more close calls here as he gets into intersections where there are clear, we've been talking about it all morning long, clear roadways on this Memorial Day, at least for now. We see other sheriff helicopters up above there, tracking him above, and then some below. Are there still some officers pursuing him on the...
Like an SUV of some sort. We believe we're getting reports that it could be a Kia, and you see it right there on your screen. It's going at a very...
to come to a stop here, but look at this. He's pushing that car out of the way.
This guy is desperate to get away.
Anytime police get closer to him now.
Seem to be staying within a few miles. Am I correct, Will, in terms of this area?
Very true. And now we're getting on the 710 freeway again. 710 only southbound this time. Southbound side of the 710 freeway. And this bizarre pursuit just keeps kind of going around in circles here. We're getting away from Imperial Highway southbound on the 710 freeway.
There's been talk via the Southgate Police scanner of using a spike strip. This is the first time.
We are eastbound on the 105 freeway, just getting away from the 710. Eastbound on 105, just getting away from the 710. And speeds appear to have gone down just slightly. Oh, something just got thrown out there. I don't know what that was. Are we throwing out money or something? I'm not sure. Oh, I think we just hit the center divider, or the concrete divider there.
It looked like liquid or something that definitely crashed or burst open. It was hard to tell from this vantage point, but
there goes more.
He's throwing more out the window.
Yeah, more stuff being thrown out there. And
all of which will be retrieved as evidence in this case.
Oh, absolutely. But, yeah, there was certainly a handful of some sort of paper tossed out of the window there. And then the driver was apparently so distracted he bumped into the concrete wall on the right side. We are westbound on the 105, Chris?
And this appears to be the first...
Eastbound.
This seems to be the first physical movement we've seen of this guy over the last 30, 35 minutes here.
There we go again. More paper.
All happening within the last 90 seconds. Again, objects being thrown out the window. There you see it again. I think this is the fourth or fifth time this has happened. Now, running in and out of lanes here as we head. I think you said east on the 105 freeway, Will.
Yep, eastbound on the 105, getting away from the 710, and yeah, this pursuit just seems to keep getting more and more bizarre by the minute. Now we're seeing the driver just throw out stacks of something, paper, and there are enough units behind this person that they will have time to stop and pick up whatever it is, and as you mentioned, collect that evidence.
And a great look right here, very close. It looks like the driver's doing something in his lap right there, using his hands to either tear something but a great view here, Will, from News Chopper 4 of what may be going on inside as he's also driving at 40, 50 miles plus an hour.
Ripping paper of some sort and throwing it out the window.
Yeah, it looks we're ripping up paper. It's just one of the stranger things I've seen here.
Yeah, I wonder if it's some sort of document. But we'll recap as we're seeing this and getting moving off. But what's the next major freeway that he could get back on?
Well, the 605. He's stuck. He's going over a curve there. He's next to a wall, a fence, going around traffic. Sees brake lights. Oh my gosh, there's a bike. Oh boy, that was close. Close call. This is exactly the type of thing that they're hoping to avoid in this situation. So close there. Right, and in fact, what my understanding is that this may have begun kind of where we are right now, near the 605. So we arrived on the scene when it was kind of in the 710 Firestone area. But yes, much earlier in the day, apparently, this started just about here. Oh, he's going to hit that car. Or I'm not sure if he made contact, but this driver...
He made contact.
He made contact. It looks like it did.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
And so he has sort of free reign on this one. It doesn't seem that he's pulling off of the freeway. But as you were saying earlier, Will, we really can't predict in terms of what he's going to do. Sometimes he'll go from the left lane all the way out and get off on an exit, correct?
We've seen that. We have absolutely seen that. He tried very hard several times to elude the police or whoever was chasing him at that time. It was Southgate PD at that point. And, that's good for the cars, but there's always been the helicopter overhead. So, unfortunately, the bottom line in all of these pursuits is they almost never get away. And occasionally we see that they do, but it looks like this guy's speeding up a little bit. We're looking at about maybe 90 miles an hour on the westbound 60.
Yeah, and continuous driving here for well over almost, we're approaching now the second hour. And again, I identify that SUV as a Kia, and I believe it's a Kia Sorento. And just looking at, again, the miles per gallon, this particular model gets anywhere from 21 to 29 miles per gallon, whether it's surface streets or on the freeway here. So it makes you wonder, there must have been a full tank of gas inside this car, because this guy has been blazing through since 10:45 this morning. So, again, CHP now continuing their pursuit of this driver. Again, CHP could, ramp things up, if you will. They have the ability to spike strip. They also have the ability to pit maneuver. Obviously not the perfect and right conditions for a pit maneuver. But, again, one of the few agencies that is actually trained in all of this, right, Will?
Right, they are, and we've seen it so many times. They can spin that vehicle around. It's a little trickier. They won't do it at this kind of speed,
sure.
But it's a little trickier with an SUV. So much weight and bulk to that vehicle.
Earlier, and it just was unsuccessful. That was about 11:30. We have not seen that again for the rest of the pursuit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
I don't think we have. There was talk of it, but that spike strip initially was on a surface street, which I can only assume he avoided. But again, there was some talk about perhaps initiating a spike strip while on one of the freeways here as soon as the CHP took over. The CHP has had this for well over, I may be off here on my timing, but about 30 minutes and still no spike strip, or attempt at least. But again, CHP cruisers are, following behind, and we saw some SUVs from the California Highway Patrol take over. So we talk about apples for apples. If, in fact, this gets back on a surface street and all conditions are right for a pit maneuver, well, they could, in fact, do or initiate a pit maneuver there while on surface streets, right?
Oh, the surface streets are actually ideal for pit maneuver, because generally on surface streets, speeds are down around 30, 35 miles an hour. So that would be ideal. The problem is, of course, surface streets also are quite often neighborhoods, with kids out on the sidewalk and bicyclists and other hazards. So they're looking for inroads, ways to perhaps have someone maybe talk to him that's not law enforcement. And now that we see windshield wipers there, so we're seeing a little change in activity there. But so someone who's not law enforcement is speaking with the driver. So that may be a good thing. We may be able to see this brought to a safe conclusion. Looking back, I don't see the units even remotely as close as they were before. In fact, I don't see any back there.
Yeah, actually, as you pull further out, you're absolutely right, Will. So again, why would protocol, it just makes me wonder, why would protocol then change once again? Because initially, the police were in pursuit of this driver here. Then they, put this in tracking mode, and then they went, full steam ahead. And now again, as we talk about perhaps family members making contact with this person behind the wheel, now we don't see the contingency of law enforcement that we saw before. So,
and you wonder if that's on. Do you wonder if that's on purpose? I mean, sometimes if the driver's nervous, if they see them there, if there's a way of telling family members saying, if you get closer, that person's more nervous, maybe they're trying to find a way of pulling away so that the driver knows that they're trying to work with him in some way, and presumably.
Again, not really knowing what this guy's history is right now, he could have a lot of things going through his mind right now as he attempts to evade police. But again, talking with a family member or getting in touch with family and friends could arm law enforcement with more information. And again, it may change the way they do things. And in this case, that might be exactly what we're looking at right now.
When did Will, have you noticed? We noticed from here that the pursuit, the black and whites and other law enforcement have sort of pulled away. They're not anywhere near there, correct?
Right, it's extremely. They've really dropped way back in the background there. So we've seen a complete change as far as attitude of the drivers there.
Yeah. So again, there are folks who are watching this at home, and they're perhaps wondering why we continue to cover this chase. This is a public safety issue, and again, call it what you will, but.
Michael, I need to apologize there. We got thrown off by a decoy. We were following the wrong vehicle.
Okay, so again, you're looking at that gray.
There we are. Yeah, they are close behind him. We were right next to another vehicle that had some basically two SUVs that looked very similar past one another, and that was the situation there. The vehicles, the CHP, are still right behind there.
Okay, we do see that CHP Cruiser there in the picture there. So again, they are pursuing that gray Kia SUV, and let's zero in and pinpoint exactly which one it is. I see two SUVs there, Will. Okay, that's the SUV the CHP currently is in pursuit of.
Yep, that's the one.
And we still see them behind them.
They have backed off a little bit. I should mention that. They did back off. That's
looks like he's slowing down.
Yeah, a lot. We're slowing down a lot. We're southbound on the 405, right near Long Beach Boulevard. This vehicle, we've been kind of joking about mileage and gasoline, but that may have happened. We may be out of fuel because we are getting a lot slower than we've been at any point during this pursuit.
All right. So
and tell us exactly where you are, Will.
Yeah, 405 south.
We are southbound 405. It looks to be right near Long Beach Boulevard. Right near Long Beach Boulevard on the southbound side of the 405. Here, this is just on the verge of being in Long Beach.
All right, and we'll let you take this away as you see it from your vantage point. Just tell us, as he's slowing down, it looks like law enforcement too is slowing down. Can you just walk us through what's happening right now?
Well, now what we're going to see happen is basically as he slows down and is able to, if the situation is that he's not able to move forward anymore, they will come up behind him. They will be issuing very specific orders and demands, telling him what to do, perhaps putting his arms out, dropping his keys, things like that, and then they have very specific ways of asking them to leave the vehicle, walking out and backwards, and we are.
And Will, we just want to show our viewers a little earlier, we had split screen this for you because we now have both of our helicopters up in the air trying to bring you the most in-depth information and look at what's happening here as we've been covering this pursuit since it started about 10:45 this morning. So you may get at some point in our coverage as we're looking at this two different vantage points of the same scenario that's happening going on live right now as we speak at 1:09, well past the 2-hour mark on this pursuit, which seems to have ended as the car's slowing down, presumably running out of gas.
Right, because this driver has taken, again, a number of law enforcement agencies on, many different freeways and surface streets. As Lolita just mentioned, now we have two choppers, another vantage point there of the driver's side on the right side of your screen. The left side, obviously, the front of that vehicle. You see CHP officers there. behind their doors, presumably barking orders at this guy, telling him what they want him to do at this point. But again, two very different vantage points here as we show you two different views. Again, now a wider view on the right of what is happening here on the southbound 405 near Long Beach Boulevard. You see traffic there. Imagine being on the northbound side of the 405 freeway wondering what the heck is going on here.
But in terms of something happening inside that vehicle, as we look at both vantages, you see one of our news shoppers from sort of on top in front, the other ones from the side. And as we're talking to those folks, we say goodbye to Will and welcome in Gil Levis, who's in our news shopper 4 live over the scene.
Gil, from your vantage point, you're pulled out a little bit there, but Will mentioned he thought the window was down on the driver's side. Is that in fact true?
It is. I can see that right now, and we understand from the scanner traffic that the suspect is on the phone with his wife. And we also heard a few minutes ago that, again, this is all unconfirmed, but the driver was saying that he was smoking meth. Now, we don't know if that's true or not, but we are hearing that over the CHP scanners. So he said he was going to get out and surrender, but he wanted a few minutes to finish smoking. So we don't know if that's all true, but we can see him in there moving around a little bit. And this standoff continues here on the southbound 405 freeway. I'm going to zoom in here again. It looks like he's turned in the seat and trying to address them.
Both hands out.
Yeah, both hands out. And I'm hearing that he just threw a glass pipe out the window. That's according to the CHP dispatcher. Now the door's opening. He's slowly coming out. And what we'll see now is the CHP ask him to get out, put his hands up, and back up towards him, or lay down on the freeway.
And we should remind everyone that we do know that he was impaired, so actually him taking cues in the way that someone that wasn't impaired, it may be a difficult thing here for him even just to try to get out of this car and listen to the commands that they're trying to give him to follow sort of what they're saying. And as we see him finally getting out of the car, his hands on his head, it seems now finally getting the cue that he needs to surrender.
All right, so
that's
again,
right.
Knowing perhaps that he's impaired, he lifts up his shirt, shows his waistband, which is protocol in a case like this. Again, he's apparently told CHP officers and law enforcement authorities that he is not armed. Again, showing them physical proof, in fact, that he is not armed. But again, hands on the back of his head. We'll likely see him walk towards officers in a backward position, or they're going to have him lay there on
or
the
lay down. Right. Those are the two options there, Gil. What do you see, or have you heard anything from CHP talking to him? There you go, see him walking backwards.
No, it appears that he's complying with their demands, and that's a good thing. Next, we'll see them approach him or have him lay down on the freeway, which is also protocol. And you can see that team of CHP officers getting ready to make that approach on the right-hand side there. But they're ordering him to possibly lay down or continue to back up. So he may go to his knees here, or they may just take him into custody while he's standing.
All right, seems to be complying with officers here. And again, absolutely right there, Gil.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for CHP to have him back up, kneel down, and then they'll take him into custody. So very, very long pursuit here over all kinds of freeways and surface streets has come to an end here, southbound 405 in the Long Beach area.
And luckily, this one ended with no serious injury.